It's the international break, boo! But we're still here with predictions, hey! Hello guys, welcome back to Championship Predictions. Just because it's the international break and we want to keep the predictions coming at you, we're going to look at our original 1 to 24 Championship predictions and see how we would change them. This is our new and improved predictions. Just need to make one thing clear, there will be some people that are like, oh my god, it's only 4 games, you can't change your mind. Well, yes, at the end of the season, the predictions we look back on will be the original ones before the season started. This is just a bit of fun to keep you guys entertained during the international break. Don't be offended. Come on, it's just a bit of fun. We're talking football. Let us know your predictions down in the comments. Let's go for over 2,000 likes. Set us a target, Sophie.
2,305.
2,305 likes. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already to help us get to 75,000 subscribers. And before I get your predictions up first, Sophie, your original predictions, how are you feeling?
I already know that I've got a couple clangers in there, but I think with some I'm roughly there, and I don't think I'll be changing some as well because, as you say, it's very early on. But let's see. Yeah,
right, we're going to get into Sophie's table predictions first, and then we're going to look at my predictions and see how we would change them. Here we go then, Sophie. This is your prediction, and no laughing, guys, because not everyone's going to get everything right. Yeah. What stands out to you immediately? This is your prediction from before the season started. Anything that's like, anyone too high or too low?
So at the moment, I would say Blackburn. I don't think they're going to finish in the bottom 3. So I know it's early on in the season, but so far I don't think there's any risk of them going down. So I'd move them out of there straight away.
Should we start from the bottom and work our way up?
Yeah, let's do it.
Blackburn, which category are we moving them to?
13 to 18, I'd say.
Should we put them in the middle?
Yeah, slap them in the middle.
Okay, so how are you feeling with Oxford and Derby? Because to be fair to them, they've both got 6 points so far, and it might be difficult for them both to stay up, but maybe one will, or do you think they still might go down?
I'm going to keep it the same at the moment, which seems a bit harsh because watching a couple of their games, I have thought, okay, they do have a little bit about them. They've got that fight there, so they are capable of staying up, but right now, I'm struggling to choose other teams to go down instead of them. So I'm going to keep that the same.
You're going to stick to your guns. It's interesting, isn't it? Because after 4 games, some people will be like, I'm changing everything. Some people will be like, it's too early, and that's probably where you're at.
It is.
Let's move to this category. You had Watford 19th, Portsmouth 20th, and Plymouth 21st. Any of them going lower?
Plymouth.
Oh, you've changed your mind.
I have changed my mind. I think it could go down to the wire, to be honest. But just for now, I'm going to have them in the bottom 3.
Where should we have them?
Top end of bottom 3. It doesn't really make a difference. You're going down anyway.
That's a good point. It's not really like you get a bronze medal for finishing 3rd from bottom or something.
Still going down.
So that's your bottom 3. To be honest, Sophie, I think that's fairly sensible. I can understand Plymouth, Oxford and Derby fans would be watching saying, what are you on about? Look, you've got to
long season.
You've got to pick 3 teams. You put your own 3 teams in the comments. Portsmouth have been all right. You think they'll stay up? I
think they've got enough about them to stay up. They've impressed me the most out of those 3, hence why I've got them staying up. But moving on to Watford, what a start they've had under Tom Cleverley.
So surely they'll finish higher than 19th?
Yes, I think. I don't want to get too carried away because it is so early on. So maybe high end of 13 to 18.
We'll put them there for now. Remember, we are working our way up. So it does mean we are going to eventually have to get round to moving 2 teams into that category with Portsmouth. Are Stoke staying mid-table for you? They've won 2 and lost 2.
Yeah, I mean, at times, again, watching them, I said it last season, they were quite inconsistent and they seem to be picking up the same again. Winning 2, losing 2, but ultimately the average isn't then bad. Yeah, I don't want to move them any lower down, and I don't think they'll finish higher than 12th. So at the moment, they're going to stay in that category for me.
Okay, Swansea.
I'm going to drop them down a little bit. I've not been too impressed with them. I know it's a long season. They could get better, but equally they could get worse. So I'm just going to have them dropping down a little bit.
They've not been consistent, really. They had one really good performance against Preston, and then the rest I've said has been a bit flat. Speaking of Preston, do you know what? Maybe if this was before Heckingbottom, I think you'd have probably had them lower, but do you think higher now?
Possibly higher, or just high end of the 13 to 18.
Should we nudge them up a couple? I mean, to be honest, we've got a few here that we're going to move up some more as well.
I might end up moving them even higher because there's a couple of teams in the 7 to 12 that I'm thinking I'm dropping you down a little bit.
Okay, so Blackburn you've put here. You happy with that?
Yeah, I'll keep them there.
Sunderland,
I'm going to have to move up, aren't I?
but where?
Top 6. They're jumping up to top 6.
So where should we put them for now?
Just stick them in the top 6 and I'll have to move something
Right,
about.
we'll put them there. We'll come back to Sunderland in a minute, but yeah, I agree. You can't ignore Sunderland's great start.
They're top of the table right now.
Yeah.
So
Bristol City.
I'd leave them there.
Leave them there. Preston, leave them there.
Leave them there.
Watford, you
Leave
happy?
them there.
Hull City,
Leave them there.
leave them there.
Yeah, they've not got off to a great start, have they? But they
Okay.
have made a couple of signings in recent weeks, just before the transfer window closed. So, if anything, I think they could move up slightly. But ultimately, I'm not that impressed with them so far. So, it could be not a poor season because I don't think there's any risk of them going down or finishing much lower than that. But ultimately, aim's got to be top 6.
Yeah, sniffing around there. They've still not won this season.
No.
Okay, remember, we've still got to get one down there. I don't think it'll be QPR you're moving down, is it?
It's not QPR, it's Cardiff.
Okay.
So, I've just
you
skipped past
Are
Wednesday.
you happy with QPR on Wednesday where they are?
I'm half tempted to move Wednesday down a little bit. I know the fans have started to turn on Danny Roll, but I think he is the right man for the job. And I think it's some fickle fans. I'm not saying all fans want him out.
I think most of them are behind him.
They are, but I've seen quite a few that are like, oh, this is not as good as we should be performing. But maybe like Coventry in a way, our expectations are so high that when they're not being met, it's like, right, look at the manager. But I think he's a good manager. I think they will have a good season in a way, but I don't know. I think they might drop down a little bit.
Okay, maybe we'll swap them around.
Yeah.
And Cardiff are going to drop.
Yeah, to 19 to 21.
Oh, who's going first, Swansea or Cardiff?
Cardiff.
Oh, there you go.
Just slightly.
Yeah, they're very important who finishes 19th. Right, Millwall, you happy?
Yeah, I'd keep them there, I think. They'll come good. They're just steady eddies of the Championship, aren't
They got a great win against Sheffield Wednesday, didn't they?
They did, actually. Yeah, they looked strong in that performance, but...
West Brom.
Oh, this is hard because...
There's about nine or 10 good teams
that could finish in the top 6. I'm going to keep West Brom just out of it at the moment.
Oh,
that's a bold shout. I'd have them in front of Norwich.
Well, I don't want to spoil my predictions just yet, but I did have West Brom in my top 6, and I will be keeping them there. But
I can see why.
Look, to be fair, yeah, great start. Corberan, brilliant.
Yeah.
But you think maybe 7th?
Yeah, I think they'll just miss out come the end of the season.
And Norwich,
they'll either just scrape it, I think they'll miss out as well.
Norwich
so around
as well.
8th, 9th, I might have Middlesbrough just splitting them two actually. I'm going to drop Middlesbrough out of it. And
Middlesbrough?
Yeah.
They've been alright, haven't they?
They've been okay, but I was expecting them to start quite strong. Like really strong.
Well, they've been better than Coventry, but... Yeah.
Oh, I know.
Okay, right. Interestingly, it looks like you've kept Coventry in your top 6. Like I say, we're going to have my predictions afterwards where there might be some differing opinions, which is good for you guys, get to see some different opinions. I'm interested to see, Sophie, how are you going to order this top 6? I mean, bear in mind, Luton have been pretty poor so far as well.
They have, so they're going to go 5th for me, because I do think they're going to come good.
5th? Who's
I'll go
6th?
5th, Coventry.
Coventry 6th.
Yeah, I think at the moment, the way we're playing, we will even be lucky to get to playoffs. So I think that is my Coventry bias, putting them in the top 6. Because judging by the season start, it's been poor. But similar to Middlesbrough, we do have good spells later on in the season. So I think if we do bring in a good midfielder, which I know at the moment we're linked with Matty James, which I think that would be a good experience.
We need
Get
it.
Ben Sheaf back, then I think we could get off to a slow but good, better start.
Can I say something with Coventry, by the way? Because I know we did have a big rant the other day, and I think we've probably calmed down a little bit.
Yeah.
But I do feel a little bit like we've been conned, because all over town, it's dream big, like play up, we're going to the Premier League.
big.
They're selling Premier League packages.
Yeah.
And then Mark Robbins is saying, don't get carried away, we're not going to the Premier League.
Yeah.
What are you guys on about?
You built us up now. Don't be annoyed that our expectations are high.
Thank you.
You've spent a lot of money as well. That brings high expectations.
Mixed messages, honestly.
It is, yeah.
What are you trying to do to us? Right, okay, on to the top 4.
Do you know, I might keep it like that actually.
Sheffield United 4th, Sunderland 3rd, Burnley
Yeah.
2nd, Leeds 1st.
Yeah, I mean, the way Burnley started before they ended up having to flog quite a lot of players, I thought they're going to finish top. by like a mile, like how they did under Company, but they have had to get rid of a few players. I know they've brought a few other players in. That's why I think they're capable of getting second. But the squad they started with, I thought first. The squad they're going to end with, I'll say second.
Okay. Leeds have picked up.
They're coming good now.
Sunderland, unbelievable at the minute.
Yeah.
But
so that seems harsh having them third. But ultimately, look at last season. Preston were flying at the beginning. Look where they ended up.
You think this is more sustainable though, because you put them third.
Yeah.
I think one thing I'll say, and I think Sunderland have been brilliant, by the way. They've got a lot of young players, and I wonder when it gets to January and it's very physical and bogged down and hard, could that get to them? I don't know. I'm just putting that out there, but I think top three, I don't necessarily disagree with that. And Sheffield United, top four, they've been good.
They've been good, but not breathtaking, let's say. Again, they did have to get rid of quite a few players, so there was going to be a period, I think, where it's gelling because, they've got quite a small squad. I'd say even now they've still got quite a small squad, but they've still got some really good players, and they did keep hold of some good players. So I think around fourth is fair right now.
Okay, right, well that wraps up Sophie's prediction. Let's move on to my prediction. So then, this was my original championship prediction, and just like with Sophie's, I think there are some I'm fairly happy with, there's some I'm not so impressed with, and let's see how I would change them. I don't want to be the same as Sophie. I'm going to make a few more drastic changes. She's probably a little bit more calm with her predictions. She's trusting that the process will come right for some of hers. I'm a little bit more like in the heat of the moment. So let's have a look. My bottom three was also Oxford, Derby, Blackburn, but I did have Blackburn higher than Derby as opposed to her prediction. I also agree that Blackburn will stay up, and to be honest, I think they'll do fairly well. Do you know what? I'm going to be bold with Blackburn. Been very impressed. We both thought they would lose Smodics, but they've still been absolutely fine without him. So I'm going to say top half for Blackburn. Really difficult here with Oxford and Derby. Goodness me. Like I say, they've both been good. They've both picked up 6 points, and they've both picked up 6 points at home. I do think if either of these are going to stay up, it will be the home form that keeps them up. I want to keep one of them up, but who do I relegate? Do you know what? I've not been very nice to Derby so far this season. Let's keep them up. Let's do it. Plymouth, I agree with Sophie. I mean, there's been a couple of good battling performances, but the overriding feeling is they're not performing amazingly so. Just doesn't seem to be enough to keep them in the division right now, compared to the teams that you'd have thought might go down instead of them. So far, not good enough. There's been, like I say, a couple of decent performances, but I am going to drag Plymouth down. And look, I hope my original prediction comes true. I hope Plymouth stay up. But so far, not giving me a lot to go with. Stoke City, I was a little bit harsh on Stoke when I put them 20th, so maybe I can nudge them up. I'm going to have to do some moving here. Watford, I think they've been brilliant, like Blackburn. Let's move them up there for now. So, let's go through this. Swansea. I think Swansea might be a little bit lower. I'm going to do this. I think Swansea look okay, and they could be mid-table this season, but I don't know. Maybe a few of the teams that you thought would be down the bottom are doing better than you think so far. So as a result, do you get a team sucked down the table that you didn't expect to? Possibly. Preston, I think they'll be okay. Let's keep them there. Portsmouth as well. Yeah, I think Portsmouth will be alright. Maybe I'll swap them with Stoke, but I did think Portsmouth would do okay. They've not won yet, but they've taken 3 draws from 4 very difficult games. I think when the fixtures get kinder, that's when we'll see Portsmouth start winning, but it's really hard to say that they've been bad, because I don't think they have been. Preston, I think I'll keep them where they are. Let's maybe swap them. No, actually, do you know what? Yeah, I'll keep them where they are, because a couple of games ago I thought they might be lower. Heckingbottom's come in now. I think they'll be mid-table, possibly higher. Sunderland, yeah, let's move them up. We'll come to them in a minute. Cardiff, been really poor so far, but surely they've got enough to stay up. Or do they? I'm going to be bold. They've been rubbish so far. I'm putting them down there. Yes, Cardiff fans, I'm sorry, I'm being rash, but you have been really poor. The only good things I've seen were in the closing stages of the Swansea-Cardiff game. I thought they showed some real fight. And I do like Baloo. They've got some really good players, but what we are seeing so far is not good enough. I'm sure they will improve, but let's go with them to be in my new and improved bottom three. So sorry, Cardiff fans, do share your thoughts. Hull City, I think they'll be all right. Let's keep them there. Oh, do you know what? They've not been great. I think Casey Palmer's a good signing, but I just think back to last season and all the great players they had and that potential, and I just wonder, I don't think they're going to be anywhere near as good as that this season. I don't think they'll go down. Let's keep them there. I might have to come back to this. Blackburn, I've put them in the top half. Watford I have as well. Millwall, I might move them down a bit. I've not been as impressed by Millwall as I thought I might be. So let's just move them down. Not terrible, by the way. I just think maybe a little bit below where I thought they'd be. Bristol City, let's keep them there for now. Sheffield Wednesday, I think maybe just a couple places lower. I don't know what it is. It's just not great at the minute for Danny Roll's team, but I'm sure they'll improve. But they just seem to be in a bit of a sticky patch at the minute. QPR, I think I'll keep them there. And Norwich, I think I'll keep them there. Oh, this is difficult. I've got to move a couple teams down here, so I need to move one down from this category. I'm going to go with Watford to be 13th, actually. And I'll just put Portsmouth 19th, but I still think they'll be fine. So then we come on to the playoff battle. So I think it's probably going to be between about 8 or 9 teams. I think Norwich are in the discussion, but I'll keep them where they are for now because we've not seen enough from Thorpe, in my opinion. Middlesbrough. Oh, do you know what? I might put Middlesbrough in there. It's interesting. Sophie had them in her top 6 and she's taken them out, whereas I didn't have them in there and I'm going to put them in there. I've been fairly impressed with Middlesbrough. They've started okay by their usual slow starting standards. So Middlesbrough and Sunderland, West Brom are staying there. I said I'm being rash just to teach Coventry a lesson. I'm putting us there. Do I think Coventry are now just not going to make the playoffs? No, I still think we've got a very good chance. But it just seems to me that there is this sort of, I don't know, maybe this element of a God-given right that we're going to make it. And I did say in my vlog after the Norwich game, we're not as good as we think we are. We either need Sheaf to come back or we need to bring in a midfielder like Matty James, like Sophie said. Otherwise, I just don't see enough of a spine to this team. I think we're very fragile. And honestly, I think we could make the playoffs, of course I do, but I'm just going to do this because I want to dampen expectations. I'm sick of thinking we're going to do it and we don't. So let's put us there for now. And I think I'll do the same with Luton, who Sophie kept in her top 6, but I'm going to put them there. I still think Luton will come good, but it's not been great so far. And I don't want to see pressure on Rob Edwards, but it's certainly not been good so far. So let's go with that to be the teams outside the playoffs. Yes, it hurts to put Coventry there, but let's just roll with that for now. At least Sophie's kept them in there, and she is usually better at predictions than me. Let's sort the top 6 out. I'm going to say Leeds will win the league. After 2 games, I wasn't totally sure, but let's be honest, they haven't lost this season. Yes, they lost the cup game, but they picked up 8 points in the league, and they look like they're starting to get going. So I'm going to keep Leeds top. I'm going to keep Burnley second. I'm going to have Sheffield United third. I was quite optimistic for Sheffield United this season, despite the 2-point deduction. And I'm going to stick with that because what I'm seeing so far is a very well-drilled Championship team. Lots of quality to at least get a playoff place. I'm going to have Sunderland fourth. Sunderland have been fantastic. West Brom fifth. The same as last season. I just think Corberan is so good. Obviously, I support Coventry and I love Mark Robins, but let's say he went for some reason, I'd have him, if possible. I don't think West Brom would let us have him, but I think he is genuinely one of the best managers in the league. I think Corberon is working wonders. They lost Thomas Asante, but Madja has stepped up and they look great. And then, yeah, I'll go with Middlesbrough to round up my top 6. So that is what I'm going with. That is my new table prediction. Like I say, share your thoughts on my prediction and share your thoughts on Sophie's prediction. So then guys, that wraps up mine and Sophie's predictions for the Championship. Like I said, it's a bit of fun. Please do not be offended, because there's nothing worse than someone getting really upset about me and my sister making a 10-minute video talking football. It's just honestly ridiculous. Please do support us, drop a like, subscribe, and please share your own table predictions down in the comments. Have your opinions changed on what you've seen so far? We will see you in the next one. Take care. Peace out.